Come on, kids, we have to go do a piece of Star Wars.
Hey everybody, welcome to ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy. Let's talk about the finale of Rick and Morty Season 4, MORT, RICKTURN of the JERI, a play on Star Wars Return of the Jedi. There's a lot of Star Wars references in this episode and other Easter eggs that you might have missed. Plus, we're going to talk about the deeper meaning of this episode, so let's get right into it. The episode begins with the maybe clone of Beth on a very Star Wars-esque mission stealing plans to a superweapon. The planet they're on seems to be modeled after Coruscant.
Coruscant. The entire planet is one big city.
Her group is called the Defiance, a spoof on the Rebel Alliance. Notice that with her is a female Squancher like Rick's friend Squanchy.
Hey, I'm squanching in here!
This Gromflemite has betrayed its own kind to join Beth's group, and this robot seems to be modeled after a pit droid from the Phantom Menace. But it also looks like L337 from Solo, which could be a nod to Solo cast member Donald Glover because he used to star on Dan Harmon's Community. Speaking of Community, the blue streak in Beth's hair reminded me an awful lot of Britta's hair from The Darkest Timeline, if you're familiar with that show. Now this goes back to the idea of there being two Beths, like there's two Brittas. The idea of duality is symbolized throughout the episode, but I'll get into the deeper meaning of everything towards the end of this video. She also has a horse on her jacket, a nod to her past as a horse surgeon. But it turns out the Defiance Beth only managed to steal a corporate promo video for the Death Star superweapon. This line,
Well, that's right, no more secret hole that blows the whole thing up when you shoot it.
is a reference to the first Death Star's design flaw that allowed a small manned fighter to destroy it with a single shot. Also, notice that the host is wearing Wrangler jeans. That's good product integration with the sponsor of this superweapon. This ship uses tachyon beams to destroy planets. Now, this theoretical particle moves faster than light, sometimes through time, and it's often used as a plot device in Star Trek. The explosive device in Beth's neck could be a reference to the explosives in Host's neck in Westworld, or to similar devices in the Suicide Squad. Her helmet also closely resembles a stormtrooper's. Her doctor's mecha insect suit reminded me an awful lot of Krang's body from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When Beth and Rick fight, they unleash Pokeballs on one another, filled with non-copyrighted creatures that look like an amalgam of pre-existed Pokemon. One of them is fire-based, and the other one appears to be water-based. But they eventually make up and go to Shoney's. In Rick Shank Redemption, it was hinted that this restaurant has a strong emotional connection to Rick and his family. Now, even though this was a simulation that Rick was establishing, it could be that it's tied to a real memory. When the New Galactic Federation invades, it's very much like Zod's invasion in Superman 2 or Man of Steel, when he demanded the people of Earth hand over Kal-El. Notice they're watching this on a Sony TV, a play on Sony TVs. Sony Pictures has always been shameless about including their own products in their movies. And this group makes sure to point out that they're in the new Galactic Federation after Rick destroyed the old one. The idea that this is Federation 2.0 is poking fun at Star Wars, which introduces a new empire, a new rebellion, and at least 2 new Death Stars. JERI is making a puppet for therapy, which everyone calls out for being lame.
You're being crazy.
They do it in therapy on TV.
This could be a reference to the puppet episode of Community, which happened in the gas leak year when Dan Harmon was fired from the show. I did appreciate that JERI's puppet arc came full circle in a Weekend at Bernie's type scenario. Dr. Wong from the Pickle Rick episode returns to rip on the Great British Bake Off.
TV gives British people prizes for baking, Jerry.
She's back in this episode because this episode is about self-reflection, both Beth's literal self-reflection and Rick's at the end of the episode. There's also a mention of the Rick and Morty's Wendy commercial and Tammy's wedding to Bird Person.
Made me go to a wedding.
And Morty and Summer name drop Citizen Kane when they say that their B-plot just can't compare to the classic film. And do you remember this mailman from M. Night Shyamalan's?
My man!
Since Rick directly calls out Star Wars,
They are skewing a tad Star Wars-y, though.
I'm going to quickly run through the many other references to it in this episode. The planet killer is a Death Star, and it's protected by space starfighters. Summer and Morty compare themselves to Luke and Leia, and this moment
Did you hear something?
is a subtle callback to this.
What was that? That's nothing.
Phoenix Person is the Darth Vader figure in Rick and Morty. His birth was even made to mimic Vader's, though he has more of a Terminator eyeball, and the way his flesh and mechanical parts join in his chest is also similar to the cyborg Superman from DC Comics. He and Rick fight in a chamber not unlike the Emperor's throne room, but this is more of an Obi-Wan Vader fight between 2 old friends. Their fight borrows tropes from anime and the bone-breaking attack from Mortal Kombat 10. This move was a copy of Star-Lord's retreat from Thanos in Infinity War. I also love that the drill in Phoenix Person's head imitates a beak. Rick is saved by the Beths, who agreed to work together in a parent trap-like scenario. Beth says,
Naturally.
and I'm not sure if her accent is a callback to the Haley Mills version of the movie,
Never seen her before in my life.
Or Lindsay Lohan swinging a miss at an English accent in the remake. And this line
Never thought this was how I'd die. We're nowhere near Venice, and you're not a dwarf in a raincoat.
is a very obscure reference to the ending of the 1973 Donald Sutherland thriller Don't Look Now. Rick uses one of the Morty Mindblowers to reveal which Beth is a clone. Now notice this vial is red, which based on the Morty Mindblower episode indicates that this memory is something that Rick did wrong. We see him microwave the clone, similar to how he created a fake JERI earlier this season. Beth's memories show a glimpse of her mother from behind, and notice her tiny handprints here. And also, this appears to be the same birthday party and the same camera from Simple Rick's Happiest Memory. And apparently, she and JERI eloped, judging by these brochures by the door at their wedding. Rick's keeping Phoenix Person alive, which could be a callback to Han Solo being frozen in carbonite, but to me feels more like a nod to the fate of Jonas Venture and the Venture Brothers. The song at the end was an original composition for this episode by Katomi and Ryan Elder, who also wrote the theme song to the show. In the post-credits scene, there's also a tribute to Mike Mendel, the late TV producer of The Simpsons and Rick and Morty. He passed away suddenly in September of 2019. This character is him and his dog, and it's a really nice tribute to him. So now let's talk about the double Beths and how they shaped this episode's theme. The question we're asking ourselves during the whole episode is which one of them is the original. Like a Peter Parker, Ben Reilly situation, we want to know which clone is real. And the answer is, why do you care? If they both exist, then it doesn't matter which one is artificial. The show has made it clear several times that everyone is replaceable because there's an infinite number of realities. Rick and Morty pick up the wrong JERI from daycare. The real Beth is actually on a planet of Cronenbergs, and Tammy even mentions this in her evil monologue.
You might want to do that thing where you find a new universe where you can yourself off.
There is duality and replacements all throughout this episode. There's the two Beths, created by Rick's own indecision way back in the ABCs of Beth. Being indecisive is like having two states of mind that cannot be reconciled. He both wanted and didn't want his daughter to leave for space. But there's more duality. JERI creates a proxy second self with his puppet. Then there's Phoenix Person, the replacement for Bird Person. Morty and Summer compare themselves to twins.
Except no kissing part. What's another famous brother-sister team?
The Hansel and Gretel?
Yeah, right. Those two were f***ing.
And remember the doctor's tortured, indecisive monologue about the medication.
I actually have something for that. You want some? They're non-addictive. That's not true. They're totally addictive. I'm a terrible doctor. I actually have something for that too. You want some? Non-addictive. I'm a great doctor.
He ends up hating himself, but then suddenly feels good because he's on drugs.
I'm on drugs!
Showing that he has two states of mind that are at war with each other. Much like Rick, he hates himself and he loves himself at the same time. So this is like Schrodinger's Beth. She's real and not real all at once. Except I think that this one is real because this other one, that's your mom. Dan Harmon has talked about his nihilism in the past and how it affects the show's themes.
The knowledge that nothing matters, while accurate, gets you nowhere. We have this fleeting chance to participate in an illusion called I love my girlfriend, I love my dog. How is that not better?
Now, in the same way, it doesn't matter how Beth came to be, just that she loves her family. The world sucks, we're all tiny specks in infinite space, so we might as well love one another and have a good time.
Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. Come watch TV.
Well guys, that's all the Easter eggs we found. If you found any, let me know in the comments below. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.